considerably. Therein we found that Congress had literally let it go, let it slip out and fall into the hands of the local candidates, wherein the Mahayuti has the edge. So overall, I think if more women voters, as the report is there, have voted in this, so therefore the Ladki Bahin Yojana impact is going to give positive traction to the Mahayuti.
Okay, Aditi?
Well, we have to see what role or what the performance of Sharad Pawar is, because this is absolutely a make and break election for him and his party. We have to, I don't know what the reports are from Baramati. I don't know what the reports are from other areas where...
I will just mention that because NCP SP at the moment, their leads are, they are contesting on 64 seats. Lead is in 33. There's a change of plus 21 for NCP SP at the moment.
So which is...
They're contesting in 86 seats, right?
86, yeah.
Yes,
86
yes.
seats.
So far we know about 64.
51 so far.
64 we know about so far, yes.
So even assuming that it is...
The F5 update button, eh?
Yes.
Even if we assume that it is around, you know, they're leading in 1 out of every 2 seats that they contested, that's pretty damn good as strike rates go. But we have to see what, I'm really interested in knowing what happens in Baramati.
Yes.
In fact, there's a further update, Maria. You know, I mean, they're contesting in 86, the NCP SP. So far, there are leads in 71. There are leads now in 37. They're leading now in 37.
There's a gain of 24 seats.
And that's very significant.
Yes, that's pretty good. Let's bring in Clyde and get a reaction on this. You know, of course, as far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, Clyde, we saw the results, and Sharad Pawar did give what was seen as a debilitating blow to his nephew when Ajit Pawar's NCP managed only 1 MP while Sharad Pawar dominated the NCP completely. I don't think so. You know, even in this election, Sharad Pawar, the NCP battle is going to be settled so easily. You know, Mr. Pawar remains that dominant figure in Maharashtra politics.
Good morning, Maria and Vishnu. I hope you can hear me now.
Loud and clear.
Am I audible enough? Am I audible now?
Clyde, you've been audible all throughout. Can you answer the question?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So I heard you. You know, I'm getting my updates, you know, from Baramati.
Yes.
So at the moment, Mr. Ajit Pawar is leading, but overall picture is that, you know, the NCP, my NCP, which is Mr. Sharad Chandra Pawar, we're leading in 45 seats at the moment. That's the update I'm getting from my central office, that we're leading 45 seats. So it's going to be neck to neck. But, you know, like Maria just said, you know, is it going to be settled, which is the real NCP? I have no doubt. I have no doubt we are the real NCP. The election commission may have given the verdict, you know, things have panned out, but we all know who formed NCP. We all know who is the president of the NCP. These things happen, but at the end of the day, people of Maharashtra will decide today what they decided in the Lok Sabha election. We won 8 out of the 10 seats that we contested it. So I think it's going to be a decision that the people have taken. It's going to seal it this time around. But having said that, the updates that I'm getting also, we are neck to neck. The Mahayuti and Mahavikas Aghadi are running neck to neck.
It's a battle of identity for your party. At the end of the day, in the next few hours, people would likely say, okay, I now know who the real NCP is. And therefore, as tall a leader as Sharad Pawar may be, this is at one level an existential election for your party.
Well, I wouldn't call it an existential election because we know we exist. It's the other faction that broke away. They try to, you know, exist and, you know, call themselves the real NCP. But the truth cannot be, you know, hidden. The fact is, we all know where the party stands. Sharad Pawar Saab formed the NCP and we
a word on Shiv Sena and all other political parties, because we have more details coming in now. The Shiv Sena, which is Eknath Shinde's Sena, the leads have come in on 59 seats out of 81 that they have contested leads now. They are leading in 33 of those 59. There is a change or gain of 2. Congress, though, is down minus 13. They are contesting on 101. Remember, in Mahavikas Aghadi, they're contesting on maximum number of seats. Out of 101 seats that the Congress is contesting, the leads clear now in 83. They are leading only in 26. And in 2019, remember, they had won 39. So I think it's not very early trend, but not very clear picture for the Congress at the moment. So as we look at 917, Maha Vikas Aghadi at 85, Maha Yuti at 136. So that's how the numbers are stacked. Again, let's bring in Anuja Kapoor now of the BJP. Early trends, I know BJP has always been cautiously optimistic, but how are you viewing it?
Jai Shri Ram and good morning. We are very hopeful because this is the government of NDA, and NDA is a cadre-based party where under the leadership of Modi ji, a Modi ji who has been bestowed with the highest honor around the world with 17 awards. This is what we see, where India is called as a Viksit Bharat. You will be seeing in 2045, 40 in next decade. So what we are looking into is why we would be winning this. Because what Modi ji's schemes have been turned up in Maharashtra, what Modi ji's schemes have been turned up in Jharkhand, that is on the ground level. The woman, Dalit, the caste system, what Congress was talking about, where we were talking about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, where we also talked about
because what I'd like to do, and I'll come back to you, is take a look at important strike rates which are taking place in face-offs between various political formations. So if we take a look at the BJP versus the Congress, that's the really big one. The BJP presently in leads, these are leads, not results, we'll say it 100 times, has a strike rate of 70%. The Congress in a direct face-off in Maharashtra across the state is hitting at only 23%. So this is a huge problem, Maria.
Yes, a word on those 75 seats. Out of those 75 seats, there is on which there is a direct face-off between the BJP and the Congress. 40 are in Vidarbha, which essentially means that the BJP is doing well in Vidarbha region. That's why their strike rate is at 70% in this direct face-off between the BJP and the Congress. Early hours, it's 9:20 only.
And also, the other point, of course, is that the Congress is doing, would have concerns at this stage. Of the 101, and as you mentioned, in the MBA, they're contesting the maximum number of seats in that alliance. They're leading in only 25. That's down 14 from last time. Let's take a look at the next face-off, as it were, on the screen. This is the NCP versus the, I think it's the NCP versus NCP. Let's try and pull out those graphics on the screen. Oops. NCP versus the NCP SP, Sharad Pawar. Again, this is the battle for identity. It's almost even Stevens, because Maria, about 30 seconds back, it was 50% each, right? So the NCP Sharad Pawar marginally under, but again, it's almost perfectly evening. The other big battle, the Shiv Sena versus the Shiv Sena, the crisis in Maharashtra politics triggered initially by the split of this party. The Shiv Sena or the Balasaheb Thackeray, right? Again, in the biggest battle of identity, is not hitting at the strike rate that they want.
Yes, so in 53 seats that we are looking at, in which there is a direct face-off between the Shiv Sena and Shiv Sena UBT, it's 53 seats, and most of these 53 seats are coming from Konkan, Thane region.
And Mumbai region.
Yes. Yeah. Sajjan, a word on that?
Yeah, precisely. If you see, there is a generational shift. The generation of the Shiv Sena, which has not seen Bal Thackre's era, certainly the sympathy factor doesn't translate into vote automatically. Second, Eknath Shinde, whatever be his tally, but certainly he has arrived as a leader compared to the Lok Sabha election when he was a traitor and banking upon BJP organizational base. Ladki Bahin Yojana is Eknath Shinde's initiative. So 1, 2, he is now considered as a CM who has delivered a lot in a very quick span of time. So that is why he is not only has arrived as a leader, but he is also contributing to the tally of Maha Yuti. And if more women turnout is there, which is the case, then mind it, if Yuti sails through, certainly Eknath Shinde is going to be the Nitish Kumar of Maharashtra for BJP.
You know what's interesting? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead.
What I find interesting is that if these trends translate into results and, the gap at this stage is fairly significant, then it goes against what we've seen in the Lok Sabha elections where the MVA rested 30 of the seats, 48 seats, right? So it's a complete spin within a matter of few months. Of course, we know that assembly elections and Lok Sabha elections very different. Vishnu, but coming as it does just a few months later...
Vishnu, that was palpable on the ground. What I saw on the ground was that there is no anger per se 6 months ago, the BJP was being accused of Jod Tod Ki Rajniti. After 6 months, that had gone. So what my reading has been, that if there is anger or if there is sympathy, it manifests only once. And if after the voters are done, voting on that issue once,
it has been vented out. They have vented out.
It doesn't repeat itself. Aditi?
Well, yes,
The issues would be broadly similar, though.
The issues are similar. The issues are actually the same. Issues of farmer suicide, issues of socio-economic crisis, issues of investment flying out of Maharashtra to other states, levels of corruption. Those issues are very much in people's minds. They continue to be throughout the campaign. This is what one heard. But I think leadership also matters a great deal. And so this election proves to us how much leadership actually matters. Sharad Pawar continues, according to the result, continues to be a formidable leader in Maharashtra, despite the current situation that that seems to suggest that Ajit Pawar is following closely behind him.
Okay.
The Shiv Sena UBT leadership has proved that it is not up to the task, and you can only go so far as up to a point with the theme of betrayal. And the Congress, frankly, has completely
They are underperforming in a very big way.
And I would say
Down
Vidarbha
15
in
from
particular,
last time.
you know, because in that region, it is also proving, if these numbers actually translate into actual results, that even in hyper-local elections, we were seeing this as 288 mini battles playing out in Maharashtra. Even then, there are certain nuts and bolts of an organization which seems to be working here.
Yeah, and you see, don't be surprised if Vidarbha emerges as the graveyard, not for the Congress, but it drags down MVA also, because Vidarbha is where the Congress is supposed to contribute. Largest constituent of all the 6 regions.
Absolutely.
And Congress is supposed to contribute there, and it's almost a direct fight between BJP and Congress.
Yes.
And the way we are witnessing, it seems to be the trend, at least in Vidarbha, that if MBA gets pulled down, primarily it would be on account of the Congress.
Okay, according to leads, at 9:25, NDA has majority in both the seats. But this is early, very, very early trends. Let's tell our viewers this would be the first round of counting on EVM machines. So very, very early when we look at these numbers. But the gap seems to be increasing between the Mahavikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti. It's almost 70 seats gap, which is certainly significant. Let's bring in Mr. Singh now of the Shiv Sena. You know, the spotlight will be on Eknath Shinde. 2.5 years of governance, and then he managed to position himself as this leader who can take forward the mantle of a hard Hindutva party such as the Shiv Sena.
देखिए, जो असली शिवसेना की बात थी, तो आज तो ये प्रूव हो गया कि जो है असली शिवसेना
अभी कुछ और टाइम इंतजार करते, शायद आप और 3 घंटे बाद ये कह सकते हैं, पर फिलहाल ये अभी नतीजे जो है ये नतीजे नहीं है, ये लीड्स है सिर्फ।
नहीं, पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट तो है, पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट चल रहा है। और मेरा कहना ये है कि जो शिंदे साहब जो है, मैं इनको 25 ईयर से जानता हूं, और ये बहुत जमीनी नेता है। ये जैसे जो यूबीटी के नेता है, हवाई वाले नहीं है कि जो है इधर से मातोश्री में रहना, ये नहीं करना जो है। इनको मैं स्टडी किया है, सुबह 8 बजे घर से निकलते हैं, 12-1 बजे 2 बजे रात को घर पे आते हैं, और इन्होंने जो लाडली बहना योजना किया जो है, उसकी वजह से काफी फायदा मुझे दिख रहा है। और मैं जिस समय वोटिंग था, उस समय भी वोटिंग पोल पे गया था। इलेक्शन कमीशन को मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं कि उन्होंने जो है अलग से महिलाओं के लिए पंक्ति बनाई थी और व्हील चेयर भी रखा था। तो जो शिवसेना साहब का जो काम है इस इलेक्शन में दिख रहा है, और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि महायुति की सरकार बनेगी।
What I really want to focus on, and let's just have that graphic up once again on the NCP versus NCP battle, because that to me is the most fascinating battle in the battle for leads at this stage. With the NCP, Sharad Pawar up 23 from last time around, whereas the NCP, the Ajit Pawar faction down 12 from last time around. So, I mean, so that's this. So we'll update those numbers. But what I'm actually seeing, in the face-off right now, no, what I'm actually seeing is the overall seat, the lead position. But in the face-off, that's fine. But let's have that up again. Where are the two against each other? And we'll be updating these graphics as well. It's a 54% to 46%. So the NCP of Ajit Pawar at this stage seems to be going up. But again, that's something that we would want those numbers revised to see whether there's been a change in that in the last few moments as well.
Yes, that's right. But this battle of NCP versus NCP in Baramati and parts of Marathwada.
Yeah, parts of Marathwada and Baramati primarily for the first time, despite all these gossip that there is some understanding between Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar. In Baramati, for the first time, you'll see entire Sharad Pawar family is spiritedly, they have campaigned against Ajit Pawar personally to ensure his defeat. Sharad Pawar's wife, who never stepped out in politics, hitherto.
Okay, just a moment. I just wanted to go across to Clyde because the numbers which I'm reading, Clyde, in terms of leads, actually has the NCP SP ahead of the NCP. Is that what you're getting as well? So we'll update those graphics of ours.
No, Vishnu, I'm not taking anything away from what you've got, but I have got my central office, which we are monitoring because it's not surprising that we are monitoring both these parties. So right now we are leading in 43 and the Ajit Pawar group is leading in 20 seats. That's what I'm getting from my central office. So 43 NCP SP and 20 seats to Ajit Pawar. That's what is the situation right now.
Ajit Pawar and Ajit Pawar candidates are leading in 15 constituencies at the moment in this direct face-off which is happening between the two parties. So Ajit Pawar, who did really badly and poorly in the Lok Sabha polls, is trying to regain, or is he riding on what was seen as sympathy sentiment done away with? Now it is about strengthening Mahayuti, the government of the day, because if these numbers hold and the gap between the two sides is only increasing, it's a pro-incumbency vote which is playing out across Maharashtra. And a word again on this, Aditi Fadnes. Maharashtra since 1987 has not voted a single party. It has always been an alliance government in Maharashtra. This is again, as we saw in 2019, it was a pre-poll alliance that the voters may be looking at favorably. If these numbers hold, we are saying it repeatedly, this would be first round only on the EVM machines.
But if these numbers are correct for Mahayuti, then Mr. Devendra Fadnavis will be always the bridesmaid, never the bride? Because everybody is doing extremely well. And also, although the BJP has contested the largest number of seats, they will once again be relegated to supporting a smaller party from the outside, which is...
Or maybe initially they'll not rock the boat, and we'll see that now.
Maria, I'm just going to come back to a point I was mentioning earlier on. And according to the updated figures that we have also coming in and we tabulated with the ECP, again, it's the most fascinating fight for me right now is the NCP, SP and the NCP. The leads position of the Sharad Pawar group of the NCP, according to our data, is 32. The NCP is at 27. Remember, the NCP Sharad Pawar is contesting in 86, the NCP contesting in 59. The NCP Sharad Pawar, in terms of all their contests, this is not just NCP versus NCP, but in all their contests, is actually up 19. Now, if you take a look at that compared to where the Congress is, at this stage, the Congress in the leads position is down 15. So in terms of the big partner, as it were, in the equation, the Congress contesting in 101 seats, it's quite clearly underperforming in a huge way, and the NCP SP appears to be doing reasonably well. Now, is that good enough or not? That we will get to that later.
But Vishnu, I just wanted to make a small point, which is that the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP, I continue to call it the Ajit Pawar faction, has actually not contested on its own symbol in many seats. So granular data could result in a different picture.
You're talking about independents?
I'm talking about candidates of the BJP who are contesting on Ajit Pawar's symbol and vice versa.
Yes. Shaina NC.
Exactly.
You know, she contesting on a
Exactly.
Shiv Sena, as a Shiv Sena candidate.
Exactly. So that granular detail is also quite important when we try to assess the positions of relative positions and strengths.
All right. Well, we've got our correspondents out across the field right now, reporting from the BJP headquarters. Who do we have up at this stage? Prabhakar and Aishwarya join us. Let's go straight across to Aishwarya. Give us a sense of what's happening at the BJP headquarters.
Laddu?
You know, the last time this Laddu business happened, I think you and I were anchoring, and there were Laddus in the Congress office. Our dear friend Sunil Prabhu was eating one of them as well, but then the election results. So I would suggest that Laddus might be bad news, but what's happening around you, Aishwarya?
Laddus or jalebis, Aishwarya? What did you get?
Well, this time it is jalebis, and unlike of the Haryana elections where we saw at the Congress headquarters jalebis being distributed, this time since morning what we are witnessing at the BJP headquarters is jalebis being prepared over here, and you know, probably at around 11 or 12 the picture will get clearer, and there had been orders of almost 100 kgs of jalebis. Of course, there are no early celebrations as of now, but preparations are still on at the BJP headquarters. Many leaders have turned up since morning as they are watching these results very closely. The BJP had clearly stated that they're very confident of the Jharkhand polls, but on the other side, Maharashtra is something they would like to wait and watch as to what transpires in the next few hours. But certainly preparations are on, as every elections we see, if Bharatiya Janata Party wins, then it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who comes to the headquarters and address their Karyakartas, and therefore the reason perhaps all the you know, preparations are on, and the orders have been given to the Karyakartas to still wait and watch as to what results transpired. But jalebis is something that is being prepared currently at the BJP headquarters.
Jalebi factory may have been a talking point in Haryana, but jalebis are back as the favorite.
Shall we take a look at Jharkhand? Shall we take a look at Jharkhand? Because we've got our colleague Prabhakar as well in Ranchi waiting for us. The overall position right now, the NDA and the India Alliance both contesting in 81. The Leeds position has the NDA up at 43. That's up 17 from last time. The India Alliance, and this is terrible news for the JMM obviously, is that they're down 13 from last time. So again, very early, the total number of seats is 81. Any early reactions, Prabhakar? Is there a sense of disbelief? I mean, at this stage, actually, the JMM is up 4 from last time. So perhaps it is early days. But what are you getting in terms of some reactions on these leads?
I think the leaders from both the factions, they will first wait for the numbers to settle down, and then they would react to the results which are coming in. But as of now, of course, the trends are showing that the NDA is in a leading position, and that would be a big setback for JMM, because they were quite upbeat about it. They were quite positive that they would actually be able to come back in power, and it was basically they were riding on the hope of this Maiya Samman Yojana, which is their flagship program actually to attract women voters. And what we saw on the ground during the polling, that women were there in large number on ground voting, and JMM actually believed that it was because of their scheme, the Maiya Samman Yojana, that women have come out largely to vote for them. But if the numbers actually don't go their way, it will certainly be a big disappointment. Laddus have been ordered here in Ranchi as well by both the camps, Laddus and crackers. We don't know which camp will actually burst crackers or distribute Laddus, but certainly we will have one, whichever camp wins.
Good one, Prabhakar there. Let's bring in Tom Vadakkan. Tom Vadakkan, it seems Jharkhand, Maharashtra, both the states could have good news for you, but very early hours, 9:36 only. Mr. Vadakkan, if you heard me, sir.
I will take this opportunity to, to thank our voters and the Election Commission for having conducted an election which is above board. Above board. Whoever wins or loses This is democracy at full play.
No, but Tom, you're being terribly philosophical early in the morning.
If you have delivered,
got some very positive
you will win.
leads positions to you in Jharkhand and in Maharashtra. Where is the excitement, or are you in a sense of disbelief that you're doing as well as you are in the leads position in both states?
No, that's not the case. We know we have delivered. We know we have delivered.
No, that's more
and
like
our guarantees and promises people have seen it. So we are not, we are somebody who's surprised with anything. If you work hard and you deliver, your Kalikartas are there and the results are there, then there's nothing to stop you. And if democracy is anything that we can talk about, that is what you deliver to the people, how well you take care of the people, and the promises that you keep
what is
and you
ironical
maintain it.
in these numbers
That is the essential test,
Tom,
litmus test.
That we heard two very women-centric schemes in both the states. In one state, you had about Ladki Behan. In the other, it was about Maiya Samman. In both these states, women voters came out to cast their vote. But if these numbers actually translate into actual results, in one state they voted for the party which gave them that model of governance. The other one, they have voted against it.
Quite right, absolutely, and we suggest that there are many other factors at work in both states. Well, they are very different states, so you can't really equate one with the other. But even though women have come out to vote in large numbers, the factors that have impelled them to vote in certain ways may be different.
And also the tribal voter, we'll have to talk about them. That will become a crucial vote bank now. You know, all that outreach with regards to, Birsa Munda Jayanti and visually impactful images.
It's not just that. It's also what BJP told us is in the Konkan region, where the BJP, which sends 14 seats to the assembly, in the last election, the BJP got 0. Konkan is where Champai Soren comes from.
Right.
That's right.
So it's possible that the base of the tribal JMM-led tribal consolidation, the base of that grouping is completely broken.
You know, Sajjan, that's an interesting point. Hemant Soren in these elections, the fact that he came out of jail as a sort of hero, the fact that the JMM were looking at the entire narrative of how their premier leader has been targeted by agencies. If these leads translate into results, then that entire narrative completely collapses. And I would suggest, perhaps even more than the women voters, it is the narrative of the JMM and Hemant Soren not working out that would go against them and decide the sympathy factor, which would win or lose the election for them.
Yeah, therein comes the core zones wherein the impact of the leader is there. So besides Santhal Pargana and among the Santhals, it has never been the case that JMM has consolidated all the tribes, let alone about the rest of the Jharkhand electorates. Last time what happened that BJP's Chief Minister Raghuvar Das and OBC, he ended up alienating both the tribals and the upper caste middle class voter, like Saryura and others, you know. This time, wherein the BJP, by aligning with Ajsu and others, consolidated OBC votes, upper caste vote also has come, and with Babulal Marandi and others, they have been Urao, Mundas, Ho, Khadiya, lots many tribals. So that way sympathy factor needs to be given some external organizational push to be beyond the quarantined area of Santhal Pargana.
Right.
And when Congress is your ally, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay, so Santhal is how many seats there? Santhal Pargana would be how many seats?
In and around, if I'm correct, around 30 or something.
30, that's the dominant, it's similar to Vidarbha, I mean the region which can make or break.
But you have to remember that tribals are only 27% of Jharkhand's population. Right. Now, the other castes,
OBCs,
particularly the Kurmis, and specifically among the Kurmis, the role of Jairam Mahato, who has emerged as a very major a potential chief minister candidate among the Kurmis. That is also very, very important.
The Congress down last time in Jharkhand from last time. They're contesting a significant 30 seats. They were always being carried along by the JMM, but with this you know, that's it's just not worked
okay, so
out
a word on Jharkhand now, and if we can do a party-wise breakup, the BJP is contesting on 68. We have leads in 65 so far. The BJP, of these 65 seats, the BJP is leading in 35. They have made a gain of 11. JMM contesting on 43 seats. We have a picture clear of 41. There is a change of -3. The Congress is down -9. It seems to be certainly bringing down this entire alliance. AJSU, the alliance partner of the BJP there, it is contesting on 10 seats. They are leading in 6. They are making gains of 4. So a word on AJSU.
Yeah, AJSU contributes to especially the Kurmi Mehto.
The Kurmi Mehto, yes.
Hazaribagh and bordering the Purulia, all the regions wherein you have Kurmi Mehtos, and who last time also got alienated. So this time, that is why the women-centric scheme is one factor that should have contributed to the JMM Congress alliance. But when you do not do your homework right about the social base, for example, in Maharashtra, you see, except Marathwada region, wherein the Jharkhand Patil factor seems to be contributing to, going against the BJP. Everywhere BJP again, consolidated among the OBC base, Madhav Alliance, Mali, Dhangar, Vanjaris, Teli, etc. And that's why you see many of the OBCs are saying that we voted against the BJP because hum dar gaye the because of the constitution narrative. Yeah. But now that the OBC leaders like Chhagan Bhujbal and others, they openly came out against Jharkhand Patil, and that is why you contribute to the social boost, and then Ladli Bahin Yojana adds up.
And in that narrative of Jharkhand Patil in Marathwada, here is Jharkhand Patil not questioning the Shiv Sena. He's questioning his target is essentially Devendra Fadnavis and the BJP.
That's the caste. No, that not Maratha leaders of BJP.
Yes.
Primarily the Devendra Fadnavis because he's a Brahmin.
Yeah, so I'm saying even then Jharkhand Patil was selective in his target questioning. So that essentially confused the voters even more. When I met him at his home in Marathwada, he gave me an impression that yes, I'm going to start agitation again, and all his questions was only against Devendra Fadnavis. Right. So the BJP chose that in Marathwada, Devendra Fadnavis will not be in the front line of the campaign. No. He'll be much behind.
I just want to switch very briefly to Jharkhand once again and pick up on the point that Aditi was talking about. I think Jairam Mahato and the entire insider-outsider debate is one of the most fascinating aspects of this election. The fact that he's campaigned on a domicile policy going back to 1932, saying that that is the cutoff when you'd be decide. How significant a player is he in the context of these elections and this particular insider-outsider debate, which has also been core to what the BJP has been arguing?
Look, this domicile thing is already a done and dusted thing. Babulal Marandi way back, 2 decades back.
It comes up, yes.
Now in Jharkhand, more than that, I think his crucial impact would be among the Mehto, Kurmi Mehto community who are sizable in Jharkhand. Because I think this outsider-insider debate has been dusted. It doesn't have the resonance, but because the very demand of being included into the ST category. You know, 1908 when the Kurmi Kshatriya Mahasabha happened, and they were invited, the tribal told them that you are not the Kurmis of UP and that time the plains of Bihar, do not go, but they went there because of the Sanskritization logic.
No, but what is interesting now is that even there, a party like BJP, which had, not really directly projected Babulal Marandi as their face, they are getting acceptance from tribal state. It's a tribal, 28% may not be the completely dominated state, but will be seen as a tribal state.
In terms of the territory,
in terms of territory.
Inhabit, yeah.
Inhabit?
I think much more important is
the BJP. Factor.
No. BJP got 0 seats. Absolutely. In the tribal reserved area.
In the Lok Sabha
reserved seats.
In fact, the BJP slogan, Tom Vadakan batenge to cutenge, that is also something that evidently may be working. It was debatable, it was controversial in a sense. The Congress really took you on that, but you stuck to that, and at the cost of some suggesting that it was divisive. But would you suggest that that's also perhaps one of the key factors which has worked well, certainly in the case of Jharkhand so far?
As to the question of the slogan,
yes.
I think it is a logical thing that we Indians have to unite against forces that are outside. And that has been a slogan that has been there in our manifesto in different forms and sizes. Now, I think one thing that is being avoided on your channel, that demographic change in the tribal area is an effect that the tribals have realized that they are being replaced. And that, and especially when the announcement came in from a Congress leader that facilities would be provided to these outsiders. When I mean outsiders, I mean those who have come into the state and have settled there. This is the realization that has hit bang into the tribal psyche, and they have realized that they may be replaced by this new demographic change.
Okay. So we are going
and
back
I think
to
that
the
needs
state
to
of
go on
Maharashtra,
record today.
and we'll start focusing it on the basis of various regions. You know, Maharashtra, as we have been saying, there are 6 decisive regions. Every region has its own set of issues, has voted on its own set of issues. There is no pan-Maharashtra issue which played out. So we are starting to look now at Konkan region. In Konkan, a word on that, in all 39 seats in 2019, the BJP Shiv Sena had won 26. The Congress NCP had won 7. Now, how are the numbers stacked, Vishnu?
Well, if you take a look at the Konkan region in Maharashtra, the NDA up over here, up 4. The MVA leading in just 1 seat. Others are not particularly significant in this concept. It's a runaway success in the Konkan region. Sajan, how would you look at Konkan and the dynamics in Konkan, which are different from other parts of the state?
So Konkan, you have 3 districts, Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri and Raigad.
Yeah.
You know, but when you add 39 seats, it's also have the Thane and Palghar.
Right.
That's combined.
Okay.
In Lok Sabha election, when the generic trend was against BJP, both the seats of Konkan was won by BJP. Narayan Rane is one who is not considered a Maratha leader because he is from Konkan, and because of its continuity to Mumbai, there was more kind of a Shiv Sena base. So that is why Uddhav Thackeray was supposed to contribute here. It was his passion. He should have been the legacy holder. But we saw that during Lok Sabha election also, Konkan went Mahayuti ways. This is one. 2, you see, in this region, there is always the kind of a factor, you see, Hindutva is more strong, but therein also the factor that Uddhav went with Mahayuti. And
okay, so now, a word on that. Mahayuti has reached 202.
Right.
Never before in Maharashtra history an alliance is standing at that number. Aditi, I mean, it's going to be a landslide if that actually
Meanwhile, Aditya Thackeray is leading in Worli. That's interesting.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes,
for
while we look at it.
The Thackeray faction.
Yes, but you know, 202, that's, where are the numbers coming from? Let's put out more numbers now there. 202 for, okay, now 203, it's only increasing for Mahayuti. So let's bring in region-wise again, Jui, starting with Vidarbha now. Let's move to Vidarbha because that's an important battle there. In all 62 seats, how are the numbers stacked? Okay, massive gain for Mahayuti there. They are leading in 51 seats again.
No, and this is very significant because this is an area which is known for agrarian concerns, and agrarian distress has played out very much in parts of Amravati, Chandrapur, Nagpur as well. Farmer suicides was something which was very, very big over here.
Yavatmal is here. Yavatmal is in Vidarbha.
In Vidarbha as well. If the NDA is doing well in these issues, then the sense that the MVA really held the narrative when it came to addressing farmer issues hasn't held true at all.
No, certainly not. And therein comes that, yes, there were complaints about the low productive of soybean and cotton.
Yes.
Prices were not much. But yet people said that when you, I mean, we do not treat ourselves as farmers in isolation, women in isolation. They treat how the household income has been affected. This massive cash schemes that was there between Raksha Bandhan and Deepavali. On an average, there was a feeling that 20 to 30,000 has come in most of the household, and that is why not only it neutralized, it give a positive spin.
Can I just revisit?
Most of these
and Maria, you answer this question for me.
In
because
most of
this
these
is what people want to know. When do we move away from saying that these are early leads to saying that we are now in a particular direction? You know, it's now 10 o'clock almost in the morning.
I think post 10:30 we will be, because it's not really, it's not.
It's consistent.
Because at this stage, for the MVA to turn this around would mean a massive change in the lead's position.
I think that's...
Which is why I'm asking.
It's going
Sorry,
to be tough.
go ahead.
So I think we'll have to wait a little more. We have always been cautious. That's how NDTV, you are the veteran of NDTV, has been functioning. So let's hold our horses. It's not even 10 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, 8 minutes to go. By then, we'll have a clear picture of Maharashtra, 288 seats. The leads would have come in, early leads, very early leads. But yes, it looks like the Mahayuti at the moment could very well be home. But yes, let's look at Vidarbha. We have discussed Vidarbha. Moving focus now to Marathwada. Let's focus on Marathwada region now. In all, 46 seats here in Marathwada. BJP, Shiv Sena, that time around it was the united Shiv Sena, perhaps undivided Shiv Sena at 28. Congress NCP was at 16. How are the numbers tagged now? So again here the NDA, that is the Mahayuti, has taken a lead. They are leading in 36 seats, Mahavikas Aghadi at 9. So that Jarange Patil and the supposed meeting which happened between him and Mr. Sharad Pawar, what really happened to that?
Well, I mean, ultimately caste is very, very crucial to a lot of decisions that people take.
I just want to go through some of the key issues in Marathwada.
Yes, please.
Which composes of Aurangabad, Jalna, Bid, Marathwada, drought, underdevelopment key issues, issues of caste politics, water scarcity and agricultural issues. So some similarity with concerns raised in Vidarbha. Again, this narrative appears to be a runaway, in tackling this, seems to be a runaway success in terms of leads for the NDA at this stage.
And interestingly, in Jalna, when Jarange Patil started, so it's 212 now for the Mahayuti there, and the MVA numbers, MVA numbers are only declining. So there is no hung house, there is no chaos among the mind of the voters. One word on the ground was stability. A government that completes 5 years in office, that's what people of Maharashtra have voted for. They did not want any jod-tod. They did not want...
They've had enough of that.
They have had enough of that. So, even if Jarange Patil was angry towards, Devendra Fadnavis, a Maratha chief minister in Eknath Shinde managed to neutralize his anger in a great extent. In fact, what had happened was that soon after, when the protest started, the chief minister had travelled all the way to Jalna to meet Jarange Patil, to send him that message that he is sincere about reservation. He got that 10% passed by the assembly.
Yes,
that
exactly.
made an important impact, that he was seen as sincere to the cause of the Marathas.
Yeah, and also in the last moment, because this seems to be counterintuitive in Marathwada, because Marathas constitute around 30% of the population there. Then you have 18% Muslims. Then you also have the Mahar Buddhist voters who are not much under the impact of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. So this triple M, Marathas, Muslims and Mahar Dalits, was supposed to be demographically help the Mahavikas Aghadi, which is not happening, which means that in the last moment also there were conversations that Sharad Pawar had been chief minister multiple times. What did he do? Now he is supporting all those demands, and then Jarange Patil being the B team of Sharad Pawar, that narrative also came. But besides that, I think also it was a counter consolidation of the OBCs, because Pankaja Munde is there and lots many other OBC leaders are there. And apart from that, I think women factor perhaps seems to be the X factor in Maharashtra, because the kind of victory you see simply by caste and community demographic, it doesn't make sense. If there is
one of the best signs for Indian politics. We've seen the rise in women voters in the last couple of assembly elections. They were dominant, for example, in the Madhya Pradesh elections, Jharkhand, and this time as well.
Son of Raj Thackeray is trailing in Mahim.
Right.
We haven't discussed Raj Thackeray.
No, we haven't. It was not expected to be a very significant factor.
Absolutely. MNS, what happens to Raj Thackeray after this if his son is also trailing?
His cousin is winning.
Yes, so does it mean end of road? We don't write off anyone, but Amit Thackeray, this was his electoral debut, son of Raj Thackeray, MNS Supremo. He is trailing from Mahim, but let's bring in Ratnadeep.
Aditya was taking on Milind Deora, right?
Yeah,
I'm being told to take Ratnadeep now.
All right,
You have to go to Ratnadeep.
Oh, there we are. See, so Aditya is leading against Milind Deora of the Shinde Sena, right?
This is the second time Aditya was contesting from Worli.
So Sena versus Sena over here, and Aditya Thackeray, this is one of the few areas where they seem to be doing reasonably well. I'd be interested to see where some of the other battles, the key battles, the Pawar versus Pawar battles, which are taking place in Baramati. We'll come around to that in a moment. But let's also focus a little bit on by-elections.
Yes, a word from Ratnadeep, who's joining us from Guwahati.
And Ratnadeep, sorry to have kept you waiting right up off the top. But I can see that the air quality around you is much better than it is in Delhi. So, I mean, you were breathing clean air. But please go ahead.
That's right, we are breathing clean air, and perhaps in the by-polls in Assam, where there are 5 seats which went for by-poll, there is initial good news for the ruling BJP and allies, as out of the 5 seats, the leads that we are getting after round 1, in 3 seats, BJP and allies are leading, and that includes the crucial Samaguri seat, which has been a Congress stronghold since 2001. Since 2001, Congress had never lost Samaguri, but after round 1, BJP candidate has taken an early lead of 2,000 votes. So therefore, remember, this time BJP has campaigned hard there in the stronghold of Congress heavyweight Rakibul Hussain, and his son, 26-year-old Tanzil Hussain, is making his electoral debut there. And there, it seems the BJP has been able to make some early inroads in the seat of Bihali, where a BJP turncoat was contesting on Congress ticket, where Congress heavyweight Gaurav Gogoi had led the campaign. There, Congress is trailing, and also from Meghalaya, from the Gambagre seat, which is a prestige battle for Congress Sangma's family, with his wife making an electoral debut for his party, the National People's Party. She is actually leading there in Gambagre. There is a multi-corner fight there. So these are the updates coming in. So therefore, good news, early good news for the BJP and allies, not only in Assam, but also from Meghalaya. But all eyes would be on the Samaguri seat, which has seen major pre-poll violence, even skirmishes on the day of the polling as well. And remember, this time, this was the first election of at any level in Assam since 2016, when BJP came to power in Assam for the first time, that Himanta Biswa Sharma, the chief minister, was not leading the campaign. He did campaign for the party candidates because he was busy with the Jharkhand elections. And also Sarvanand Sonowal, the union minister, former chief minister, also was not seen very active in the campaign. So BJP had this time tested the electoral management of its second-ranked leaders in Assam. So therefore, this has been a major test for the BJP itself, and also for Gaurav Gogoi, who was emerging as Congress's face in Assam. At this moment, the initial leads are with the BJP, and that too in Congress stronghold of Samaguri.
Sikkim, both seats have been won uncontested. Some news flashed.
Yes.
Ratnadeep, could you tell us about the Sikkim contest?
Both seats have been won
I confess to not
uncontested.
knowing enough about it.
Yes, that's correct. In fact, in Sikkim, there were 2 seats where by-polls had to take place. In fact, 1 seat was vacated by the chief minister, because in the Sikkim election, he contested from 2 seats and won both the seats. So he left 1 seat, and his wife had vacated another seat. And in both the seats, on the last day of withdrawal of nomination, the main key opposition party, Sikkim Democratic Front candidates, had withdrawn their nomination, and the other parties' candidates' nomination was disqualified. So therefore, the ruling Sikkim Krantikari Morcha candidates in both the seats have won unopposed, which includes Aditya Gole, the son of Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang.
Okay.
And with those victories, remember, now in Sikkim Assembly, which is a 32-member assembly, there is no opposition. All the MLAs belong to Sikkim Krantikari Morcha of Prem Singh Tamang, which is a key ally of the
Ratnadeep, we will
BJP.
talk about Sikkim a little bit later. Let the assembly elections happen over there. These were just by-polls. Let's go straight across to my colleague Radhika. As we do that, just an overall look at what appears to be a runaway win for the NDA.
But a word there, Vishnu.
Still leads. That's my next sentence. But just look at the gap right now. Remember, the magic mark is 145. They are well more well ahead of that. For the MVA at this stage, to reverse this, the lead's position would be fairly extraordinary. There are different rounds, obviously, of counting and rechecks, even of the electronic voting machines. But at this stage, it appears that the NDA in the lead's position completely ahead. Let's go straight across to Radhika, who's been tracking all of these developments and joins us now. Radhika, is there a sense of despondency building up among members of the MVA at this stage? Any reactions from the Mahayuti for that matter?
No reactions from MVA as yet, but when we did speak to leaders of Mahayuti, they are obviously putting up a confident front, which they did yesterday. But as of now, no reactions from the Congress or Shiv Sena UBT faction at this point. They're of course waiting and watching. They say that these are early trends. Let's just wait for a couple of hours more before we can call the elections. But I am at BJP headquarters in Mumbai, and these are the scenes here. Of course, several leaders are inside. None of the top leaders have come here yet, but Mangal Prabhat Lodha is inside along with several other leaders as well as district presidents also of a few areas. They're also inside having a small meeting. But this is the how the BJP office is looking. In fact, they've put up a huge screen as well where the numbers are put up for media to sort of take a look. So this is, you know, as far as Mahayuti numbers are concerned, yes, Mahayuti is in lead. And when we did speak to leaders, of course, they attributed to all of the infrastructure projects and also very particularly on the Ladki Behan scheme. We know for a fact that the number of women voters increased considerably this time, and that has been attributed to the success of Ladki Behan scheme, at least by the members of Mahayuti. One is that, and the slew of infrastructure projects that came into effect in the last, you know, couple of months at least, especially in parts of Mumbai. When we did speak to voters of different kinds in Maharashtra, particularly in Konkan region, Mumbai, Thane, they were talking about the development initiatives, projects that have come in the last couple of years and that are in the pipeline as well. That is something that really did lure voters. And some of the projects did happen, or rather got launched or inaugurated just a few months ahead of elections, particularly the Coastal Road project or the metro. So all that has clearly worked in favor of Mahayuti, certainly, and the schemes for women, as I said, Ladki Behan, schemes for youth, schemes for farmers, that have 100% worked for Mahayuti is what the leaders are saying. Again, early trends. We cannot, you know, call elections.
Absolutely. Okay, Radhika, hold on a second. I want to go across to Sam Daniel for a moment. You know, we're talking about assembly elections in 2 states, but this is in a sense an all-India sort of feel because of the important by-elections. One of the crucial ones is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Wayanad in Kerala, looking to make her debut within Parliament. My colleague Sam Daniel joins us for more on this. So potentially one Gandhi replacing another. The stakes for the Gandhis are huge. They just have to win this one way or the other. It's a prestige battle like no other, at least in the context of these by-elections. Give us a sense of the challenges that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra faces over there, if any.
Vishnu, certainly in terms of her performance, she's having a comfortable lead, winning more than 70,000 votes. And at the moment, as we speak, both the LDF and the BJP are at a distant second and third position. And for Priyanka, it's a kind of a springboard to replace Rahul Gandhi, who has shifted to Raebareli. And the challenge for her would be to disprove the outsider tag that the opposition has been campaigning during this run-up to the by-poll here, saying that she would not have time to spend in Wayanad. She would spend more time in Delhi, but that's the challenge she has to encounter and disprove it. But for her politically, it's a springboard to emerge as a strong leader for the Congress, one replacing Rahul Gandhi down south, and also to be a stronger voice in the parliament. She's known to be a powerful orator, both in English and Hindi, to be able to take on the BJP, as the Congress calls it. Many in the Congress also look in her a semblance of Indira Gandhi. And while Rahul Gandhi has emerged to be kind of a people's person, traveling across the country to move with the people and to emerge as a people's leader, the Congress feels it's also time to have a strong leader like Priyanka Gandhi, who will have enough time to work on the organizational challenges of the Congress. And they feel with this kind of a mandate, they hope that she'll be able to win with a larger margin than what Rahul Gandhi had won.
Okay.
With that, she'll be able to focus more on the organizational challenges to help the party get stronger to take on the BJP.
Okay, so the story in Wayanad is going to be about the margin of victory of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, shifting focus to Jharkhand quickly before we return to Maharashtra, because the first round in over 161 seats is still going on. So let's be cautious while we look at these numbers and say, because in an assembly seat, depending on the size of that assembly,
Maria is
on an average,
hope that this turns out to be an extremely close election. From what we are seeing right now, it's a runaway success for the NDA.
But that's what we do as journalists, cautiously waiting and seeing how numbers are turning up. But yes, so in all, there are 13 to 14 rounds. So we'll have to wait and see. There's only one round which is currently still on of EVM counting. Yes, Prabhakar, go ahead. How many rounds over in most seats in Jharkhand?
Yeah, we have just completed one round out here, and the numbers you are seeing on your screen, it's a very early trend, so we should not actually read much with these numbers. But yeah, the early trend shows that NDA is having a clear lead, and they are leading on 45 odd seats, which is a good number. And the JMM camp was still yesterday very upbeat that, and even today when we had a word with them in the morning, they were quite confident that they will be able to sail through, and it's their schemes on the ground which will actually yield results for them. Especially they are banking upon the vote of women here in Jharkhand because of the scheme which they have launched for them, the Maiya Saman Yojana, and they believe that this scheme, because of this scheme, the women, they were there in large number at the polling stations. So we'll have to wait for the numbers to settle down, maybe a few more rounds, and then we'll actually have the figure actually which way the wind is blowing here in Jharkhand.
Shastri, how long does it typically take for a round to be counted? Because there are 13 rounds, as Maria pointed out. It's an electronic process. So it's almost instantaneous, right? It's a process of rechecking.
Yes. My own sense is that
by around 11. We should get the final trend, because I think Maria's word of caution to us flows from two things. What happened in Chhattisgarh and what happened in Haryana. You see, in both these states, we saw initial trends of one party leading. In Chhattisgarh's case, in both the cases, the Congress, and then you ultimately had a different result. So I think it's only from that perspective that this insurance policy is being taken, that things could change. Things could remain the same also, of course. As Vishnu was saying, maybe these trends get further expanded. But I think it would be useful, especially in the case of Jharkhand, given the proximity of the contest, that we wait for some more time for any definitive point to be made.
Okay. But initial trend, 10 a.m. right now, Aarti Jairath?
You know, for me, the most shocking thing about these trends is how badly Sharad Pawar's party is doing, and how Ajit Pawar seems to be claiming the legacy of NCP in Maharashtra. All reports, and even the Lok Sabha results had suggested that Ajit Pawar was, kind of finished, and after the Lok Sabha defeat, his party kind of broke up, there was an exodus to the NCP, and yet we find that Sharad Pawar seems to be doing badly, and Ajit Pawar seems to be ahead. And to me, this is really, I'm not surprised about the BJP versus Congress, because we saw in Haryana that when the Congress faces the BJP, it just completely collapses. The BJP does well.
But interestingly, Aarti, right now we are looking
Maria,
at those
if I could just make a small point.
Yes, sir.
The Congress seems to be the factor pulling the alliance down, both in the case of Maharashtra and in the case of Jharkhand.
Okay, can both of you hold on for half a second? We need to go across to our colleague Radhika, who's been, where there's a lot of action happening around it. In simple terms, Radhika, what's happening where you are? Are there celebrations in the Mahayuti camp, or what exactly are you seeing right now? All right, she's walking into an office is what I'm told.
Okay, so let's wait for that.
In fact, just a while ago, we did see, packs of laddu being brought inside the headquarters here. I will just try and show you that, because they just went inside with those packs of laddus. But yeah, those are the packages that are kept inside the BJP headquarters here. So clearly indicating that they are confident of a win. Of course, Mahayuti is in lead. The numbers are looking great for Mahayuti, especially for BJP, which is why BJP headquarters at this point is buzzing. Those are packs of laddus that are kept inside to be distributed perhaps in an hour or two. They are being cautious, clearly. It's not getting distributed at this point, but perhaps in an hour or two, we could see that happening. But yes, you know, as far as Maharashtra is concerned, we know that landscape changed, and therefore there was a lot of confusion and chaos when it came to results. There was uncertainty. It was not really easy to predict, which is why pollsters gave different predictions. Of course, most of the pollsters did say Mahayuti would win, but there were pollsters who also gave prediction of hung assembly, and some also giving advantage to MVA as well, which is why it was hard to predict. Also because of the number of parties in fray this time. In 2019, just 4 parties. It was BJP, undivided Sena, and of course Congress and undivided NCP. It was a straightforward election at the time until Uddhav Thackeray decided to break away, and then things changed from then on, and then of course all the splits, which is why this is the first assembly elections, of course, post these splits, and therefore things have changed drastically, which is why all kinds of permutations.
Just hold on for half a second. I think Aarti wanted to make a really important point.
Well, yes, and we'll come back to you.
We'll come back to you. Stay put. Stay put, don't go anywhere. What you were mentioning is the battle for the heart and soul of the NCP, which Sharad Pawar, in what possibly his last election,
absolutely,
he's 84. He's turning 84 next.
He's 84. This is his last election. He has been the doyen of Maharashtra politics for the last 4 decades, dominated either in front as chief minister or as a power behind the throne. And now we see a near wipeout of, so far at least, unless things change, we're looking at a wipeout of the Sharad Pawar NCP.
Let's have
clearly the
NCP
legacy is going
NCP
to
graphic.
Ajit Pawar.
We're going to have the face-off, as it were, or the NCP versus NCP.
Okay, so we have now
graphic
the
on
trend
stage.
in all 288 seats in Maharashtra. It's 10-15. Mahayuti leading in 217. This is, of course, the first round, which is